Okay, welcome back to another video, and as you can tell by the description, it's another package in the mail. So it was a case of seeing one game that I really wanted and finding a few others, but they were all pretty cheap, so it's not too bad. This is the one that I really wanted, which is Initial D Special Stage, which is a port of the arcade game. So I've got this on the PSP and I really enjoyed it, and I've got the PS3 version, which is a later revision that I didn't enjoy quite as much. I mean, for me, it might be a bit of nostalgia, even though it's only just over 10 years ago. But in the arcades, this version, I think, is either version 2 or version 3, fantastic game by Sega, and the handling's really good. It feels like an updated Sega Rally in a way, but it's a Toge game, as you could probably tell from earlier videos. I'm really a big fan of Toge games, and this is the game that got me into it. So yeah, I'm looking forward to playing that, because I did well, I say soft mod, but I've got myself a free boot memory card, so that I can now play these imports much easier than using a swap magic disc, which is a bit of a pain because you've got to put that little bit of plastic and pull the drive out, which is just annoying. But I'm looking forward to playing that now, and it's opened up the world for import PS2 games. So the other one was Initial D on the PS1. So I did a video of the Saturn version of this. I don't know if this one is significantly different. I'll have to give it a try. So what else? Final Fight, the original one on the Super Famicom. So this isn't Final Fight Guy, it's the one that just has Cody and Hagar in it. Yeah, another good game before it got censored for the West. Not much different. I mean, it doesn't have... I like Final Fight on the Mega CD, but there are some bits that have been cut out of this. It was not just the censorship, there are things that have been cut out. A-Train, which is a kind of management strategy game for trains on the Mega Drive. This one I think came out on the Amiga in the West, but I don't think the Mega Drive game did. So another cheap one. This one, got to get it right, the pronunciations, it's Senritsu no Stratos, which is Terror of the Stratosphere, or Stratus, which is a, how to describe it, it's a action RPG kind of game, but you have like a 3D view, or you can have this side-scrolling action shoot 'em up style mode. So I'm hoping that there's a lot more action than story elements in this, because this might be a bit difficult to play otherwise. But from what I've seen of it, it looks really good. And I really like the PSP for that. There's a lot of really good hidden gems from Japan and no region encoding. It just works. So the last one, I kind of bought this because it was there and it was cheap, which is Grandia 3. So another RPG which I won't be able to get very far on because of the language. It's one of those games that I'd like to play a rainy day in the future when I've learned more of the language. But I really like Grandia. It was a fantastic game on the Saturn and the PS1. And I played the second game on the Dreamcast, and I liked that. And I remember there being another game called Grandia X, which wasn't the second game, but it wasn't a proper sequel. It was some kind of, I don't know, add-on pack. But I saw this and I didn't know that there was a proper third game made on the PS2. Just looking for a date. There's a label on it. No. 2004. So, yeah, 3 years after the Dreamcast game. Yeah, the Grandia series seems to have disappeared recently, but I had a look at some of the screenshots and it looks really good. A little bit like Final Fantasy, maybe like Final Fantasy 12 in some ways. I don't know if the game plays like that, but the thing I liked about Grandia 2 was it had the battles were a lot like your typical Final Fantasy turn-based, but the villagers and the roaming around was really, really good. And yeah, good game. So I'm looking forward to playing this, just to be able to experience what the next game was like in the series that we never got to play in the West. But I won't be able to read it properly. Not yet, anyway. So yeah, so I'm going to probably split these up into gameplay. So what I'll do is, in the first batch, I'll do Initial D Special Stage, Initial D on the PS1, and Final Fight. And then in the second video, this will be fun, because there's one game that's probably got the least amount of Japanese text in, one that's very strategy based. I didn't check the description very well because it doesn't have the manual, which can make it difficult to translate because the quality of the text on Mega Drive games isn't that good. And this, we'll see how we go. So yeah, hopefully I'll do 2 more videos of these games, but maybe just 1. I'll see how I get with the second one, because I've still got the games from Replay to do with the old GunCon, which will be fun. So yeah, trying to film this on a CRT might be difficult, but we'll see how we go. Okay, here we go with Initial D on the PS2. And it's been a long time since I played this with the big screen. So I did the PSP version of the game, or rather did a gameplay of it. And yeah, it's really good. It's just like this version and one of the original revisions of the arcade, but the small screen doesn't really do it justice. And there is a PS3 version of the game which I have as well, but that was a later arcade revision and it doesn't feel right. The physics are just bizarre. I don't know what the arcade played like later on, but it's just doesn't feel right. This feels really good. But yeah, it's cool to be able to play this again after all these years. And this was really one game that I've been looking for quite a long time, and I just saw this fairly cheap and got it a couple of weeks ago. Well, ordered it a couple of weeks ago, so it's finally arrived. So yeah, it's been quite a long time since I've been doing gameplay videos, and the main reason for that is that I have rearranged my games room, and I used to use my computer monitor, which is really a TV, to play games for gameplays. Oh dear, gotta concentrate. And when I rearranged everything, I've got a CRT, and that looks really good, for playing the games, but you can't really film them that well. So I had the problem that my desk is on the other side to where I've got my games unit, so I couldn't really film anything. So what I've done is located an old LCD monitor, or rather TV, that I've had for quite a long time. And it's quite an old one, it's about 19 inch, and the interlacing on it is bloody awful, or rather de-interlacing. So I'm looking at this now and it looks terrible. This will probably look a lot better through a CRT, but hopefully it'll come out okay in the video. So yeah, now that I've got this set up, so I've got the small LCD and the small CRT, I can just swap the cables and do more gameplays now, which I'm looking forward to doing. And I'm really enjoying this. This just feels perfect, just like the arcade game. So I'm playing at the moment with the RX-7, which I always remember was the fastest car in the arcade that you could get right at the beginning. So playing with the Truno, you're probably not going to win. So if you read the Initial D comics and the anime, you know that the Truno's the car that the main character has. Yeah, I don't know how many laps I'm doing on this, but it really is throwing these polygons around pretty quick. It just feels so smooth. I don't know if this is 60 frames a second, but it feels really good. Let's pick another track. So I'll do one more, I think. Okay, here's the second track, and I'm racing the nighttime revision of it. So depending on who you challenge, you're either going backwards or forwards, or day or night. So I picked the third one here. I had to do a little bit of editing, or rather will have, once I've edited this, because even though I've turned the music off, the menus and the track selection are still playing music, so it'll just be racing in this case. Yeah, I'm doing quite well here, although I'm only on the second track and there are 6 if I remember correctly, or rather I've counted correctly. Oh. Yeah, I really should play this with a wheel. I've got a wheel for the PS2 and I think this will play really, really well. I'm just playing it with the DualShock. But as you can see, this is just so fluid and smooth and nice. It just feels right, and I'm really dismayed by the fact this didn't come out in Europe, because the arcade game did, and I think it was successful. That corner used to be a real problem for me when I used to play this in the arcade, but yeah, too much practice and too much money spent on this game. So yeah, well, in the arcade, not this import that's cheap. But yeah, it's just a shame because the manga comics came out in probably around 2003, and I started reading them, and I think only the first series has come out in Europe with the anime, because I hadn't seen it for a long time and I just gave up on it. And then I was in a computer exchange about a year ago and I saw the anime, and I thought, oh, is it just, you know, edited versions of some of the battles? And it's not, it's the full series, but it's just the first, I think it's the first half of the series, so I'll have to try and find more, but I don't think anything else came out, and sadly no more games. Yeah. Yeah, the thing that's a bit weird is the engine noise. I've just noticed this now. When I was at Replay, there was a talk by Sumo Digital, and they say the problem with games is the engine, once you've got it to maximum revs, it just goes eh. So the way they get around it is putting infinite gears in, and this has got that problem because I'm just redlining it all the time. But, hey ho. You probably wouldn't notice it with the music playing. I mean, this game's got some really good soundtrack pieces. Yeah, I don't know what my opponents are saying. Probably cursing me. They're getting pretty close. Right, I think I'll leave it there with this one. So this is Initial D on the PS2. I'll put the PS1 game on now. Okay, here we go with the PlayStation 1 game. And you can tell straight away this looks and feels so different from the Sega, I'll say sequel, kind of the Sega iteration. Oh, a little bit of glitch in the output there. Might be a dodgy cable. Yeah, it's got that weird dithering effect that you'd expect from the PS1, but it's quite obvious in this game. It might just be the TV I'm using that's making it appear worse than it is. Yeah. It's very, very difficult to control. They've really gone for the uber drifting, whereas the arcade game and the PlayStation 2 one felt in a way inspired by Sega Rally and just the way it corners. This has got this bizarre drifting mechanic on it. So I covered the Saturn version of the game a couple of years ago now on this channel, and I think this is the same. I'll have to go back to that and just compare them, but it seems pretty similar. I was playing that one in the night time and this in the day, so it's hard to compare the frame rates, but it's okay. not smooth as the PlayStation 2 games. It is a lot of fun actually to drift. It feels a lot like the Road Rage series of games. Yeah, cars don't really handle like that. In a way, this feels like I'm going round in a circle, but it's not. It's clearly downhill, as you can see with the map. Let's see if I can overtake this guy. You've got to be really careful about where you apply the acceleration, because I'm not touching the brake at all. Oh, a bit wide there. I'm just putting power in after I've got out the corner. I think I've lost this now. Yeah. It's still going. Okay, here we go with Final Fight on the Super Famicom. So, just like the European version, you've only got the 2 characters. So let's play as Cody. Just because we can on this version, other than, you know, the Final Fight Guy game, which you can fight as Hagar and Guy. I don't know why that was. I wonder if it was just because of limitations in the cartridge size. Yeah, this plays really smooth. I haven't played this game before. I've played it on the Mega CD quite a bit, and I don't know, this seems to be a bit smoother. It might just be my recollection not being correct after all this time, but this looks really good. I don't think you can play this on 2-player either. Yeah, I think if I'd have bought a Super Famicom or a Super Nintendo when it first came out and got this as a launch game, I'd have been quite impressed. It's certainly a big step up from the 8-bit. And dare I say, it looks better than Streets of Rage. Even though I'm a big Mega Drive fan, this does look good. You know, huge sprites. Even compared to, I suppose, Streets of Rage 2 and 3, this still has bigger sprites. I'm getting my ass handed to me by these punks. Yeah, that's one difference. Usually in the Mega CD one and the arcade game, you walk down the stairs. I have read about this, and there seems to be a few things missing. Other than Guy, there's a level missing, or a stage missing, and I think some of the transitions aren't quite there. There's probably animation missing as well, but I can't tell. I think the first time I played this was on the Atari ST, and the thing that really impressed me was that it loads while the game's playing. So it just streams the stages in, and usually games have to stop and give you a loading screen. Oh, these guys are quite a pain. Yeah, weapons. I remember there used to be like a special move that you could do, and it drained your life energy. Maybe that was just on the Mega CD game, I don't know. No, I think it's just 2 buttons, jump and punch. These other ones are doing absolutely... Oops, that's options. Oh, just a lucky coincidence. I thought I'd hit some kind of menu there. No, option does nothing. Or is it, what do they call it on this? Oh, it says it's select, isn't it? Yeah, I never quite got familiar with the Nintendo pads, because you've got, you know, Mega Drive is A, B and C, and on the side you've got A, B, C, X, Y, Z. But they changed them around on the Nintendo pad. You've got, you know, A on the right, and then you've got B at the bottom, and then you've got X at the top and Y on the left. It just seems backwards. I mean, you know, not every language reads from left to right, but as it's using A, B, X and Y, you think they'd use, you know, a layout consistent with, but, you know, oh well. But you can't really change it now because that's how people have got used to Nintendo controllers. Yeah, understandably so. Yeah, this sprite's huge on the boss. Yeah, this is a difference. What they call Roxy and Poison were in the Amiga and ST versions in Europe, but not in the SNES game. They changed them for two dudes. I think it's because Nintendo of Europe didn't like the idea of having games with hookers in. But then again, you know, would you really buy this game for a kid? You know, it's a beat 'em up game. It's probably for adults, but it's like the old Mortal Kombat thing where they didn't put blood in. I mean, of course, kids did play the games, but that's not what they were intended for, or not the audience. Oh, it's quite tiring. This just hitting punch, punch, punch. I managed to do another move. I can't remember. I think it's something like you press jump and down knees them, but I think pressing up does something. I think tapping it makes them do that roundhouse kick. Yay. Is the subway a different stage? I don't remember. Yeah, it must be. Yeah, I think I'll leave it there. So this is the first 3 games, or Japanese games that I've got this time. And yeah, beat 'em ups and racing games, quite different. But yeah, games I've really enjoyed in the past. I haven't played Final Fight for a long time, and the Initial D games. I mean, the PSP game's great for portability, but did that kick then? But there's nothing better than having it on a reasonably sized television. In this case, a 15-inch CRT, which looks fantastic. Right, I think I'll leave it there. So thanks very much for watching, and I'll try and do some more gameplays soon. I'm either going to do the Japanese games, or kind of Japanese language games, or I might just go straight on to do the games that I got from Replay. Some of them are gun games, so I'll see how far I get with filming a CRT. Right, that's me done.